Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us, and an even bigger thank you for responding so rapidly to urgent needs that we had. The truth is we weren't planning on standing up this foundation, but so many things hit so fast. We literally were building the Tim Ballard Foundation ship as we sailed it to Israel. And you know, it's an amazing story what happened. We were working in Latin America a couple months ago, and two of our operators felt inspired to go into Israel during the war or the conflict with Iran and the back and forth. And I said, yeah, go out there and just see all the kids. We're apolitical. Everybody wants to be political. We're not. Children do not have a political ideology, and that's why we don't either. All kids are the same to us on every side of the conflict. If we can go there, we're going to go there and help them. And that's why truth about these conflicts, we have to get political because we have to understand the truth about what's happening, because lies stand in the way between us and children. And there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of lies. And I'm going to address that in an op-ed in a day or two where we'll have it done. It'll be a video and written op-ed that's going to explain our perspective, the perspective we're hoping through the eyes of children on all sides of every conflict. But when you guys lie for political points, I'm watching it. Some of the lies are so over the top obvious. You're hurting children, okay? Because you're not being pure. You're not being pure and trying to get to truth. The truth will set you free. You've heard that scriptural phrase. We say the truth will set children free. Lies get in the way of us rescuing kids, and I can explain that in the op-ed that I'm gonna put out. I just ask you all, see the world through the eyes of children. Okay, everything becomes a lot clearer because you can't really lie too much. It'll hurt your conscience to lie too much when you know your lies could be hurting children. And that's a theme we're going to see in a lot of fronts and a lot of things coming out in the next several months. People who put politics over children are not Christ-like people, and it's been happening quite a bit over many years. But I just want to thank you. You guys jumped on so fast, and you were able to help us fund our operations to help the slaughtered people, the families, the Christian and Jewish families in Syria. And we're actually heading back right now for phase 2 is already running, and we're heading back to support that, and you'll get updates. I'll be going to Washington, D.C. in a few days next week to do some pretty big exposures and reveals, and you'll want to follow our social media and the other media around what we're going to announce in Washington, D.C., and how the U.S. government is getting involved in a big way to uncover a lot of dark things that have been going on for way too long in the world of rescuing children in the U.S. and beyond. So we are grateful for your help. As you were following me, you saw I had to leave pretty quick from Israel to Brazil, where we had a massive success. And we'll be going back there as well, and you'll be seeing more reporting. So thank you for coming along with us. And now we're expanding the Tim Ballard Foundation to everywhere that we've already been working. We're going to be we have requests, demands from all over the world right now, and we'll also be announcing very soon our efforts in the United States. As you know, between 300,000 and 400,000 children were lost by the Biden HHS during the years of 2020 through 2024. One of the most devastating things in American history. I think it will go down in history as the darkest thing since the transatlantic slave trade that Abraham Lincoln and the abolitionists at least made illegal. It's that dark, it's that sick, and the world has done its best to hide that. We're going to uncover that, and we're going to do it along with U.S. Congress, and you'll be hearing a lot about that in D.C., so you got to follow me in D.C. So thank you so much. We're expanding. As we expand, we need you to expand, because what we have the networks and the operators to basically go anywhere we want to go right now. We have that kind of access. I think we proved that to you in the last couple of weeks. Any dark corner of the earth, any child that's being hurt in any place, we have the ability to get there. We can shine that light in those darkest corners, but we need you to help us with that, to carry that light. We need you to help us with that light, which comes in the form of resources, donations, prayers, anything you can do. We're willing to do our part. We need you to do yours. And so far, you guys are being awesome. And again, we can't thank you enough. Now, one thing you can help us with, because since now we have all these operations lined up, we have to project what our budgets are going to look like, and we can plan much better when we know what what funds are coming in. We don't have to do as much guesswork. So if you'd be willing, even if you already donated, and even if it's less, if you can get on our monthly recurring donation program, that'd be so helpful to us. It'll allow us to rescue kids more efficiently and plan better for their rescue. So consider that. Also, we're getting a lot of questions about the foundation that I began, Operation Underground Railroad. A lot of confusion there. I just want to be very clear. I have not been any part of Operation Underground Railroad for 2 years. Nothing, zero. So I am continuing to do the work that I've always done from the U.S. government days until I went private until now. That work hasn't changed. It's just progressing and growing as we have more contacts, build our networks. So I want to be that very clear, and everyone knows that I have nothing to do with the foundation OUR that I founded. I've been gone for 2 years, working on other projects, and now focusing a lot on the Tim Ballard Foundation. We have a new goal of getting 300. You guys, first of all, I couldn't believe how much came in so rapidly that funded all of our operations we've had to do. We had in just a few weeks, we had just $200,000 people just responded. And like I said, we were building that website and the thing as we were flying to Israel. And so we didn't have time to really prepare a whole lot. It was an urgent matter, and just your response was just unbelievable that we were able to raise that much without even being able to do any kind of marketing. Our marketing was literally us on the ground live rescuing children. So thank you so much. And we're going back to Israel very, very soon, like I said, and we're going to need some help with that too, because these people are really in a bad place. But the good news is we have the right partners, government and non-government, and we're ready to make a more aggressive move here. And you'll learn about it when we're allowed to talk. But we do need resources for that. You've seen the posts, the ones I've done over the last several days, and I'm sorry, they're brutal. I've tried to put warnings up, but I don't know what else to do other than we're fighting dishonest media. The Western media won't even cover this. Can you imagine how sick that is? They don't want you to know what's going on in Syria. Why? Ask yourself why. Because it exposes the thing they're trying to cover. They're trying to cover for jihadists and tell you a false story about who jihadists are and what they do. And the Jewish people have exposed them. Because if you make parallels between what's happening between Israel and Gaza and basically jihadists, militants, versus Israel, if you want to know the truth of that, go up north a little bit, because it's also jihadists versus, this time it's not Israel, it's Christians and Druze. And it's harder to hate Christians and Druze because you don't have these false narratives attached for so long. And so they don't want you to discover that. So discover it. Okay, because it'll tell you a lot about what this war is really all about. And again, my op-ed will hopefully shed some light on this. It's just about children. It's not about anything else. I don't care really who the good guys and bad guys are. I just want to know who they are. Like, I don't care. Like, we don't take sides. We just take truth, because the truth will set the children free. So we're going to call out who the bad guys are hurting kids and who's not hurting kids, or who's somewhere in the middle hurting kids. We're going to call it all out, because we will not let kids suffer any longer behind geopolitical lies that are pushing people's geopolitical ideologies. That's ridiculous, okay? And I think that God probably sees the world through the eyes of children too. I think that we're probably pretty good bet on that one. So try to do that, and things will become clear. You're going to have to humble yourselves and maybe divorce yourselves from certain positions that you just love to have. Just try to see the whole thing through children's eyes, on both sides, on every side. And things become very clear when you do that. Okay, so again, I just thank you guys so much. I'm going to have a lot of good stuff to share with you. Just mind-blowing stuff, really, about this same theme, about who's willing to lie. And you'll be shocked when you find out who's willing to lie, okay, to cover themselves or to cover whatever agenda they have at the peril of children. That's a sick thing in this world, and it's happening everywhere. Who's willing to lie for their own agenda, knowing that lie is going to hurt children? They know it, documented receipts. We know they know, but they do it anyway. Wow, there's few things more un-Christ-like than putting some agenda, whatever it is, even if it's decent or good or bad or whatever. Anyone who does that, who lies because their number one agenda is not Jesus and not children, okay, because those are the same, but it's something else, but they're willing to lie, knowing that lie is hurting kids. It's all coming out. A lot of it's going to start in D.C. We're excited to tell you about it, because we are here to protect children. That's our first and foremost goal, and I think we're in line with the Savior on that one. I think we know that if you read the Bible, the one thing that's reoccurring from the entirety is children are always getting abused. I made mention of this earlier in a post from Brazil, and it's a very true point. We see this through spiritual eyes. Okay, Satan wants to destroy God. He wants to punch him. He wants to sit in his throne. He can't do any of those things. So instead, he's going to hit the closest thing to God. And the closest thing to God is those made in the image of God, all of us. But of all of us made in the image of God, there's a certain demographic in that group that's that's closest to the image of God, and that is children. And I think that's why Jesus, I think only one time where he got almost mafioso in his vocabulary in the New Testament. Sometimes we don't realize how powerful he was being. And they're violent words. It's from the Prince of Peace, and so it's righteous, but they were violent words. Better that a millstone be hung about your neck and you tossed it to the bottom of the sea than that you should hurt one of these little ones. That's Jesus talking about how he feels about children being abused. So I think you're on the right side of things if you try to see things through the eyes of children, no matter who is trying to distract you from doing that. It doesn't matter who it is, because Jesus is sovereign. Nobody owns him. People think they own him, put him in a box, and they direct him around to do their agenda. That is sick. That is gross. Jesus is sovereign. Truth is sovereign. Get on that train, because that's the sure train. That's the train that rescues children and makes sure that you are close and in line with heaven's will. So that's better for your own salvation as well, right? So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Help us rescue God's children, because God's children are not for sale.